See if anybody gets in here. Good morning. Morning Billy. Morning Danny. How's it going, guys? Has anybody done any trades yet this morning? Are we up or are we down this week? I need something. I need some inspiration or something because I'm ready to go and jump in the canal this morning. This is just totally shit, this market is. It's driving me mad. It really is. It's bad. There's no movement. Morning Steve. Morning Dan. Paul Bag, hello. It's tough, isn't it? As you can see, I don't know if you can see these boxes on the chart. You know, this is a highly technical indicator, these boxes are, but what they are is the balance from Monday is the yellow box. So that's the initial balance on Monday. This is the initial balance on Tuesday in the highly technical green box. And now this is the initial balance on this morning that's just opened up, right? They're all inside each other. There's no movement. This is a market that's tightening up. It really is. But the thing is with this DAX is it keeps doing this all the time lately. If you go onto a daily chart, we aren't really moving anywhere. And I don't want to sound like some conspiracy nut or something like that, but it's definitely the ECB, it's the central banks. They're not letting this go down. They really aren't. We're not getting two-way price movement of what we used to have. So I think what's happening is every time we get a down move, for instance, yesterday, look at the Dow, look at the DAX, it doesn't move. So I don't know if that's a bullish sign or it's just a sign of a market that's just been held. Because you could say relatively, because the DAX hasn't gone down and the Dow has, relatively the Dow's stronger. But I just think the Dow's getting held. I really do. It's like no downsides allowed. So what they do is, if we ever have a down day, they'll buy the lows and just keep the market from really getting away. But then they don't buy the highs. That's how I see them. Like in my head, that's how I think. That's what I think's going on. So they'll buy the lows and protect the downside, but then the highs, they don't let it, like, they don't buy the highs. So we haven't got anybody that's willing to, make a stand and buy the highs to push us higher. But every time we drop, like the ECB or like, I don't know, one of the big banks or something like that are stepping in and keeping the market up. So it's just a massive consolidation. And it's really tough, honestly. July we had a little bit of volatility. August was absolutely shit. I lost money in August, 1.8% down, as I've said. And this month in September, I'm pretty break even for the whole month, to be honest with you. It's pretty shit. There's nothing going on. Now, in these times and these conditions, you just have to just keep saying and just keep going. But if today we can get a breakout of this purple balance, which is this morning's balance, and we can get a leg up and a pullback, I'll be interested in looking long and seeing if we can go and probe these highs here. And if we get a move down through balance, and some sort of pullback, I'll be aiming for these lows here. But it's just tough. I can't see anybody taking the initiative this morning. It looks like it's a very quiet open. There's no volatility at all. I'm looking for someone who's got to take the initiative and obviously move the market higher and lower. But when this happens and these balances tighten up like this, it really is tough. Morning, what do you mean by balance? Initial balance, mate. So 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. UK time. The theory is obviously that Frankfurt opens at 7 and the UK market opens up at 8. And that range obviously dictates the flow of the day, really. That's how I see it, and that's what I've read as well. So that's why I use it with the DAX. It works very good in the Bund and it works very good in the DAX because of that reason. And when you get tight balances, you normally get expansion days, and when you get big balances, you normally get days that are a bit more choppy. And reverse, you get like reversals. Like as you can see, this is Monday's balance. It was big. Like most people here would have thought this is going to be a trend day. I wasn't. I was thinking it could possibly reverse, and it did. So that's what you can look for. There is strategies like I try and trade the expansion out of the balance, but I think that if you could come up with a decent strategy, would be to trade the big balances and obviously bet that there's going to be a reversal. So if you get like a gap up and then a big balance, and you're into some sort of level here or a pivot or a resistance point from a pivot or something like that, I think there's a high, you can build edge around that. I'm sure there's a high probability trade in here somewhere where you bring it back into balance and you aim for the top of the balance. So like if you're thinking about getting short here, because you're already at ATR at this point, you've got a big balance, which means there's a probability that you're going to see a reversal or a chop day. If you can pick up a short in here and try and make that strategy mechanical, there's definitely edge there. There definitely is. I've been looking into that myself over the last 6 months, and there is something there. You just need an entry and a stop. Good morning. So has anybody made any money this week? At this rate, I'm thinking about getting to AstroFX's course. I really am. It's tough. Morning, Mark. It's like August again. Yes, Liam. Liam trades DAX, and he knows August was totally shit. M formations mainly, Flynn. What are M formations? Explain, bud. I don't know what that is. What's an M formation? Darren, there will definitely be a correction, a massive correction once the central banks pull the plug, but they're not going to do it. It doesn't look like they will. Unless something happens that we can't see, that nobody can see. I don't see how they will ever pull the plug. I don't think it's possible that they've gone this far. I mean, they might allow a small correction, but I just think that they're in control of the markets now. I really do, and it's totally shit because obviously we need volatility, we need movement, but the central bank's blanket is to dampen volatility. Now, it's great for ETFs and stuff like that creep up, but for actual day traders, like it's tough because you need movement, you need volatility, and it's like that they are just obviously putting shock absorbers on the bottom of the market to try and bounce it back up. Now, I might be completely wrong and I might be sounding like a conspiracy nut, but for me, I think it's happening. One trade so far in the DAX, stopped on Monday, couple of wins of options and contracts on US stocks. Right, Dan, lovely, nice one. So you got stopped out on Monday, or stopped for break even, or did you take a small loss? Were you on the short on Monday? This is Monday's price action here, isn't it? So were you thinking that this was a long, or were you trying to get the short on, or were you trying to buy it in here and expect it to go back up? What were you doing? Double top on the big balance days. Yeah, that's a great Flynn. Look at that there. Look at that. 11.45, 13.10. Now I know what you're talking about there. Fabulous. That is a double top, and obviously the big balance days, probability is we're going to come back in and test the top of balance. So that could be something that everybody could look at. Monday the 20th, DAX 30 growing. Yes, Steve. Yeah, it is. Now, I don't know how that will affect how it trades. I really don't. Hopefully it might mean we get a bit more movement though, which would be a good thing. Blood from a stone again. Yes, exactly. Tried a fade from 700 and got stopped out for 1R. So you were fading. Were you buying 700 then in here, and you got stopped in here? Is that correct, Dan? It's tough, honestly. It really is. These are the days, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just going to be completely honest with everybody. These are the days where I feel like I am sat here doing absolutely nothing. And I hope if anybody that's thinking about starting this career thinks, looks at this point, if somebody said to me today, like, are you doing the right thing, doing this job, doing this career? Like, I'm probably not. Like, there's no job satisfaction. It's totally shit. There's nothing going on. Yesterday as well, I saved myself 2R from 2 trades that I potentially would have got in. But think about that, right? From a perspective this morning, if I would have been a little less sort of mature in my trading, the old me, 5 years ago, I would have taken them losses yesterday. And like today, I would have woken up, the pressure would have been on me. I'm 2R down. Like, I've got to try and earn some money, and then you get up and this happens, this shit show, and you just think to yourself, well, what the hell are you doing? But obviously, having the maturity to not take them yesterday, I feel a lot more happier today. Like, the old me would have been sat here pissed off, anxious, stressed out. Everybody else that I know is going out and earning money, got a job, doing something, productive, and I'm just sat here and this thing's not moving. Now, this is where you might go down onto the lower time frames now and look for a trade, try and force it. These are all the mistakes that I used to make. And it never ended up, it never ended up being a happy story for me by doing that. The more I try and force it, and I would always try and force it after a few loses, losses as you get further into the week, because obviously you need to earn money. But it never works. It never works for me. It really didn't. It was really tough. So this is what I mean by how shit of a career choice this is. I'm sorry to be so negative, but I'm just saying it how it is. Do you trade IB on the Dow? Yeah, I do. So I don't trade the Dow, but I include the Dow's opening IB in my overall theory. That's something that I look at, and it gives me the sort of, it gives me confidence that if I'm in a trade, if I'm in a DAX trade, say I get into a DAX trade at 10:30, right? Now I'm looking at that thinking to myself, right, so if I'm in a trade long, I need the Dow to behave and get above its initial balance. So I use the first 15 minutes on a Dow chart as the IB. If the Dow starts selling off and it gets below its IB, and I'm in a profitable trade on the DAX, that's a bad sign for my position, because the DAX, like yesterday, it didn't follow. Like if you look at it yesterday, right, the Dow sold off massively, the DAX held, it didn't move. Now that is something yesterday that I take note of. For me, that's why did the DAX not move down yesterday? Why did it not? Now for me, that would be a bullish sign for today. Normally I'd be thinking to myself, right, okay, so the Dow's cracked off and the DAX hasn't budged. So relatively today, you'd be thinking that, or towards the end of the week, you'd be thinking to yourself that the DAX is going to obviously have a bullish type of move. So it's something that you can take note of. They're all little pointers. But for me, obviously, if I'm in a trade already, which I wasn't yesterday, it would be if I was obviously short the DAX yesterday and it's not going down, and the Dow is cracking off, like you've got to think to yourself, like something's going on that you can't see. So you've got to take it as a point. This is the truest test of being a trader, when you have to sit on your hands. I agree with you. Yeah, totally, it is. Remember, we were going to work in Waitrose in August. Yes, I might be ringing them back up. McDonald's or Tesco, anything but this. This is torture. It really is. It's tough, but you've just got to do it. You know, you have to sit through these periods, and if you can get the maturity to not give trades back and give some of your account back in these periods, then it's when you come out the other side of it, your account's a lot healthier for it. It really is. Imagine trading a breakout, strategy on this shit that's going on. You just got no chance. You really haven't. But even with a mean reversal strategy, I don't think you've got any chance. Like, you could change strategy today, and by this afternoon we might have broke out to the upside, and then all the breakout traders are making money. So it's just about sticking to what you know and sticking to your strategy, and not letting it try and kick you in the nuts. Do you check news and fundamentals? I do check them, but I'm not a news and fundamental trader. I actually find that a lot of the news and fundamental stuff reverses. So like if you know what you're doing and you can fade that type of news, I think it's a good profitable strategy. Data candles often reverse. Like if you look at the pound yesterday, perfect example of that. Like I think we had a great sort of drive up yesterday on the pound here, yeah. So if you can look at this, right, it's perfect type of consolidation for a long. You get the long, but it would have never let you get on board, really. And then you're buying in here, your stop's getting beneath here, and then straight away it reverses and wipes everybody out. So they're tough to, like them types of things that are really tough to trade. I think if you've got, like you're in a prop firm, like if you see Action Futures and stuff like that, like they concentrate on that type of stuff, and they're very good at it, I think. You've got to be very quick on the mouse. You've got to really know what you're doing. So for me, it's not. I don't want to be in that type of environment. I just want to be in a 5-minute time frame where you can make clear decisions. You can get your risk on, and it's a lot less stressful for me. Trading my method is, I think, to trading that type of news flow and fundamental stuff. I imagine it's like you've got to be really on the ball with that. Really, like seconds count for everything with that type of strategy. Now, for me, that's not something I want to do. I think I'd be dead when I was 40 if I was doing that. So yeah, here's me just sat here watching these 5-minute initial balances, doing absolutely nothing. Steve, are you the guy that lives by me? Steve Rathbone. I don't know if you're still listening. Are you the guy that lives just close to me in Congleton? I think I've quadruple witching end of September in states on calls and puts with Dowers being controlled. I actually think all of it are being controlled, Steve. I don't think the markets are as free as people think anymore. It's like only upside moves are really allowed at the moment. Yesterday's down move, was it really that bad? I don't think it was really. And it's just like no downsides allowed. And as a trader, that's bad news for us. It really is. Like, if they're controlling the markets and they're getting a bigger hand in the volatility of it all, like, it could be, I don't want to say, but it could be the beginning of the end of it, really, for normal day traders. Like, they could just have these big algos that work and just, like, sort of hold the market and then just push it up a little bit every week. Maybe that's what they're doing. Play some Bob Marley so it's easy to sit on your hands and wait. It is easy. I'm not saying I can't do it. I can do it. I've gone through like 6 or 7 day streaks before where I haven't even pressed the button, but it just sucks. I think the thing for me is it sucks more than anything because I've come on here on a live trading challenge and it's Wednesday morning and I haven't pushed the button, so it's just that's the thing that like I just want to get something on, but I'm not going to get something on for the sake of it. It's still got to be my strategy. Biddulph, yes, right, okay, Steve. You're only about. I'm in Scholar Green, so Cinder Hill Lane I live on, just the other side of Malcop, so I'm probably very close to you. To be fair. What time range would you use to frame the initial balance for the Dow? I use the first 15 minutes, but people say it's 30 minutes. So for me, it's the first 15. I found that they're important for the direction of the day more than the first 30 minutes. Do you have any investments in crypto? No, I did, and I did quite well out of it, but I don't have any investments in crypto currently, no. I brought some Bitcoin a long time ago. Not for like when it was $100 or anything. I think it was like 1,800, 2,400, something like that. But I haven't got any at the moment. I tried to be too clever with it. I was going to buy some if we filled that gap at 24k. I was hoping for that. I tweeted a chart out where I was thinking it was going to go down like from 58 or 60, and it did. But I had the gap marked at 24k, and I was thinking if we got down to 24k and filled that gap, I would be trying to get some again. I'd get balls deep long, and rebuy in, but it never did. It just sort of probed below 30,000, and then that was the low, and it went. So. And now I think we're sort of in between two massive points, and it could just obviously range for a little bit. I just don't see any sort of trade opportunity until we get either, like some more consolidation to break out, or we sort of go and probe lower again. So for me, I'm not in anything with crypto, nothing. WB Investing morning. Joined to hear someone speaking, sitting alone myself at home. My Twitter handle is WB Investing. Yes, it is a liquid. Yeah, follow WB Investing, guys. Anybody wants to put the Twitter accounts on here, you're welcome to. If you wanna try and get involved with anybody else and follow anybody, put your Twitter account on here so people can see who you are. We could hopefully create a little like-minded community. I said yesterday it'd be good if everybody could get a little video camera on these and like join in like a big Zoom or something. Because it's just me talking at you guys, but it'd be nice to obviously get some talk back. Steve, let me know if you ever want to go for a coffee. You're only 5 minutes away. One day, if you ever want to talk about the DAX or any trading, let me know. I'm free most days, to be fair, obviously. So just let me know, bud. First 15 minutes from opening bell at 2:30. Yeah, 2:30 UK time, pal. No, that's cool that you've got it right, MACA. So mark off the first 15 minutes, and that's it. Just bracket it off with a box like I do, and then you're just trying to trade the flow away from it. Basically, that's how I look at it. I've been doing summary tweets on a private Twitter to look back at my progress, quite looking back through, right, like how much I've lost updates. Yes, definitely, that's a good thing. You can see your progress. It's positive, isn't it? You realise how far you've come. And now you're sort of, your learning of the market gets a lot better. It really does. And as I was saying last night, Flynn, I think the maturity comes from knowing when not to trade rather than most people can find a good trade. Most people can, but it's the people that don't get involved in the ones that just don't look quite right. I think they're the ones that obviously, they don't get into massive drawdowns. Really, that's the key. And then they don't put extra stress on themselves and anxiety, all of that pain by not taking those losses. And that's what starts unraveling you. It really does. That's what used to happen to me anyway. Like most days I would already be in a drawdown from the previous day. So you're getting up in the wrong frame of mind straight away. And drawdowns are fine. They are, but when you've got into drawdowns with, through trades that looking back you probably wouldn't take again. Then that's a problem, isn't it? It adds stress. So guys, what is anybody trading anything different this morning? Has anybody got a trade on? What are you doing? What are you up to? Is anybody looking at anything different than me? Are you trading any currencies? What are you doing? Can you see anything? Can anybody see a trade this morning? Point one out. Point one that you might be in. If anybody's in a trade, let us know what you're in. It's no problem if you lose or if it's you've got in this morning and you might be showing a small loss in the trade. Just let us know. Don't be afraid of losing. Everybody has to lose. I lose all the time. Looking at Bitcoin, also a liquid. Right, so you're day trading Bitcoin, are you, Liam? What would you do with your money if you weren't a profitable trader but still wanted to generate some returns? It's a tough one, isn't it? Stick it into an ETF, but nothing's guaranteed. I have an ISA I do that I put money in with IG, and it's doing all right this year. It's not doing too bad at all. I have some shares as well. I had some British Airways and EasyJet shares, and they were massively up at the start of the year, and I took some profits on them, but now I've kept the position on because it's a long-term thing, and I'm just slightly negative on them. I'm underwater a little bit on them. I've got EasyJet, Carnival, and British Airways that have brought in the big dip, the Corona dip. Now my BA shares went up to I think it was just under £2, and I did take some profits on them, but I kept the position on because obviously I'm thinking to myself, in 3 or 4 years' time, they might get back to where they were before the Corona dip. So, but they've dropped down massively, and I'm not underwater, but I'm just sort of slightly negative on the 3 positions now. So yeah, don't be afraid of saying you're in a losing position. There's no point at all, really. Honestly, everybody loses. I lose all the time. I have days where I lose for 5 or 6 days. It's not a problem. Not traded DAX today. 15,769 was a perfect short based on volume, not hindsight, but was off the school run like most in the UK. S6 based. You WB, right? So life, isn't it? Life gets in the way. It does. So for instance, life does get in the way. There's always something that crops up. I missed a profitable trade last week because the freaking Amazon guy knocked on my door. So I sat all day waiting for a trade. This guy knocks on my door to drop some goals off that I brought from a lad's football team, and he's there for ages. He was there for about 5 minutes because they were heavy boxes and stuff like that. And I went downstairs, got them, checked them, had a quick check just to make sure they weren't broken and stuff like that. By the time I'd come up, my entry was there. I'd missed it, and obviously I've got a rule where I don't chase. I totally missed my entry, so that was totally shit. But life does get in the way, WB. Now when you backtest, life doesn't get in the way because you just assume that you'd be there to take every trade. So that is something that you have to take into account, and there's nothing you can do about that. It's very tough to sit there all day, every day, and never make a mistake with execution, because something always crops up. It's Murphy's Law. Day trading Bitcoin today is when I get to 930 on DAX with no movement, I have a look at Bitcoin for the day. Well, that's a good idea, Liam, yeah. Maybe that's what I should do. I have a few different markets that I look at, but I just find that when I start delving into other markets and stuff like that, it takes my attention away, and I end up missing what I should be focusing on the DAX for me. I'm a typical man, one-track mind, that's it. I wouldn't say I'm good at one thing, but I can do one thing and that's it. Anything else and I start just falling to pieces. Don't talk to me about airline stocks. Alex, yes, you're the Alex, is this that pilot, Alex? How are you doing, pal? Alex is a pilot. He, I think he flies for TUI, Thompson. if I remember correctly. Morning. He's a good guy. I think you trade Forex, though, don't you, Alex? Are you into the DAX, or are you more like a pound trader? What a job that is, though, man. What a job. Like, this is what I can't understand, Alex. Right? If I had the license that you've got, a pilot's license, like, I don't think I'd be messing around with this type of stuff. I really don't. What a career. Like, I look at you when you must put your pilot suit on and you've got, you look the part and you're flying all around the world and stuff. Like, what an amazing career that would be. For me personally, I look back on my life. If I could have done something like that, I definitely would have. I think for me that is like a top career. And I know obviously you must have had it tough with the corona stuff that's been going on. I don't know if you've been working, have you? But what an amazing thing. Mark Wogan, hey up, mate, Mark. Now, Mark Wogan is a top scalper, guys. I don't know if you can see him in the chat. Mark Wogan, he's been at this a long, long time. Long vaping and PG tips at the moment. Yeah, I don't blame you, pal. Well, Mark lives in Spain, guys, right? He moved to Spain, if I'm correct, and he scalps the DAX. He does. Very short time frame, I think. And I think he does okay. He's been at it for a lot longer than me anyway, I think. But yeah, I moved away from that scalping type with the DAX. It was just driving me mad. I was too stressed out with it all the time. And I didn't do my arse or anything like that. I honestly didn't. But it just wasn't. It was just too intensive. Too many ups, too many downs. And I'm quite an anxious person. I don't know if you can tell. Like, I sometimes sit here and move around. So I needed something where I could just drop back onto a longer time frame, and less positions, more like more pinpointing the points where we could potentially kick on for the day, rather than just thinking like I need to get in every type of move and try and make something out of it. I try and pinpoint the exact point that I think it's got to go from here. It's got to go from here, and if it doesn't, then it's not gonna go. Like, that's the whole point of my strategy. Pinpointing the 15 or 20 ticks risk, which means that if it doesn't go at that point, it's probably not gonna go. And that's fine if I get stopped out. But like, for me, it's like 1 trade a day, 2 trades a day max. But yeah, it was tough for me, that was, Mark. I'll take my hat off to you, buddy. Red label from me, Sainsbury's, please. Yeah. Do you trade NAS? No, I don't actually trade it, no, but I'll look at the initial balance on it to confirm my trade in the DAX. Flying a plane and trading Forex, better make a course on it, mate. Yeah, he had, hadn't he? What a top guy Alex is. All them aerostesses. Abroad in luxury hotels of all them aerostesses. What a career. It's got to be worth it just for that, hasn't it? Hi Nick, how you doing, mate? You alright? You good? One big family. Well, I think it's just people that you've seen on Twitter for all them years, Nick. I don't know if you're on Twitter, but if you are, follow me, and you'll see all these people that I can see. I don't know them. It's like I'm talking to people in the pub, isn't it? This is how good social media is. This is the good part of it, really. That you can, like Mark. I think Mark Wogan sat in Spain. Alex is a pilot. WB, I've seen him on Twitter. There's loads of them that I've seen on Twitter. And Steve Rathbone's just up the road from me, so it is good, that is. But I don't know any of them personally. But obviously, you just see people, and you like Mark and Alex have been on Twitter for years. Looks like I picked the wrong day to give up crack cocaine and prostitution. Yeah, absolutely. You're on Twitter but not active on there, right? So follow me, Nick. I'll retweet your I'll retweet your username out, pal. Are you new into this? Are you new into trading? Actually, trade with a Dom volume profile. Any thoughts? Yeah, they do. They're all very short-term traders, though, aren't they, Wayne? Actually, that's what I think. There's a couple of guys that are on like 5 and 10 and 15-minute charts, but most of them are on the Dom, and they're sort of looking at order flow and stuff all day. If you can do that, and you can sit there and do it, and obviously you're good at it, then fair enough. That's brilliant. Anybody that's making money in these markets, I take my hat off to. I don't try and say that that's the wrong way. or the you know, like not the right way to be doing things. Whatever works for you works. So I'm just telling you what works for me. I'm not saying that mine is better than anybody else's. It probably isn't. Like as I said yesterday, I don't know if new people are in here. January, a typical month for me isn't like 1,000,000% like you see on Instagram. January I made 5.6%. I think I was 5% in February. July I was 8.9% up. August I was 1.8% down. So I'm not like one of these traders that's like making massive amounts of percent. I really aren't. It's just not something that I can do. I don't, you know, like plenty of people might be doing, but for me it's just not one of them things that I can do with my strategy. New follower, mate, Mr. Ting. Hello, Mr. Ting, Rob. Why have you called yourself Mr. Ting, Rob? Let me know. It's an unusual one. Horses for courses, and yes, scalping can be a bit of a pain, but on days like this, there's always one minute doji or two at a level to have a crack at. But today is not shaping up to do much at all. Yeah, you see, Mark, you're good at that. You are good at that. You can be in and out, can't you, pretty quickly? And if you're good at it, fair play to you, mate. Take me hat off to you. Do you know any crypto traders that are doing well? I don't, you know. This is the thing with crypto. It's a strange one, isn't it? Like most people will call things and say like this is what is going to happen, and then obviously if they get it right, it looks like they've made loads of money. But is anybody actually putting their entries and exits on there in the stops? Like I don't think many people do. I don't even think most people have a stop in crypto half the time, do they? They just expect it to just go up. But this is the thing, like, you look stupid, don't you? Because obviously, like, you know, like you're saying, oh, I've made 5% in January or whatever, or February. Like, some crypto dude who doesn't even know what he's doing. I was having this conversation with Tom when I went to see him the other week. And he was saying the same thing, like, why would anybody be bothered about 5% in January when you can just buy the highs in crypto and still make 50% of your account? And that sort of, you know, it's not real trading, that isn't. That will all end at some point. I think that's just obviously what's going on at the moment, but it's similar to the dot-com boom in '99 when people used to just buy stocks and they used to just go up. Similar to today, but it sounds like it was really crazy in '99. Like anything you brought would just go up because of the internet boom and all that. But crypto's the same to me. Now that won't carry on. It won't. And when it doesn't, all them people who lose all the money that the profits that they've made will then think, I'll either have nothing to do with this ever again, or I'm going to actually learn how to trade. And it will come back to actually being able to trade again. Do you use my FX book? No, I don't. I just use IG. With this account, I'll just show you all my history on my account. So anything to do with MT4 and my FX book, I'm not into. There's too many scams and stuff that you can you know, like you can change everything with it. If you've got some sort of coding software and stuff like that, I wouldn't even trust my FX book. I wouldn't trust it as far as I could throw it. It's like there's too many scam things that go on with it. And anything on MT4 I don't really trust. You need a UK accredited broker, and then you need to show your history and all of your trades and your account balances. And like if you're doing it live, it's very difficult to fake it. I don't know how you would be able to. So yeah, for me, anything to do with my FX book or MT4, MT5, keep away from it. There's too many scams. That broker login, that made me realise that nothing that goes on there is right and true. It really isn't. Alex, FTMO, right? So you've been paid out. You've passed the FTMO, have you, Alex? And you've been paid out last couple of months. You see, so that's good. That's good. Alex here is a legitimate trader. I know him. I can vouch for him that he's a real person and he's not some type of shady scammer. And he's obviously been funded by FTMO and he's got good things to say so far and he's been paid out. Right. So you know, like what I said yesterday might not be correct. Then that could be, you know, like if you can do it like Alex can, you know, maybe they do pay you out. They're fearless and don't know what they don't know. Exactly, the Bitcoin people and all the crypto people. Now, I'm not going to float my boat. I did make some money on Bitcoin, but it wasn't through trading it, like trying to actively guess the swings in the market. It was just because I just thought it was a good bet, basically. I wasn't trading it, I just brought it and held it. New Lad brought a couple of Bitcoin in late 2018 and had around 15 Bitcoin and was able to make around 45 Bitcoin around 2021, then lost it all due to leverage. He is a breakout trader. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Once you start trying to trade and you can't trade, you will give it back. It's just going to happen, isn't it? He would have been better off just holding still. Past a couple. Awesome, Alex. Brilliant. Good lad. Amazing. That's good to hear. So how's it going, Alex? Are you getting a profit split? What's going on? I still have my doubts about their model. Explain then. So in one message there you're saying yesterday's video, FTM, have you been paid out? But then in the next one you're saying you have doubts about their model. So go into that for me, dude. What doubts have you got? Why are you having doubts if you've been paid out? I'm interested to know that. Cuttle Millen. I know this guy, Ian. Hi, Ian. I thought I was a baller in the dot-com boom. Yeah, so right, Ian, this is, let's just get into this, right? Ian is a ledge. He's a business ledge, right? The guy has got a Ferrari, Porsche Turbo, a massive big house in a lovely spot, and he loves trading. But he's made all of his money from business, like other businesses and stuff like that. So I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he is a proper ledge. But he's obviously struggled trying to trade for all this time, and he's obviously very, very successful at other businesses, right? He is, because I've seen his lifestyle, and it's not fake. It is his lifestyle. He's got Ferraris, Porsches, everything, and obviously he's tried to crack trading, and he's found it very, very tough. So it just goes to show that you can be very, very successful in your other businesses, and you jump into this thinking, I've got to crack this, you know, like I've done so well in all previous years of my life, and then you get into this and it's just like, it just doesn't happen, and it's tough, it really is. So that makes you think, like, if you're successful in other parts of your life, it doesn't mean nothing when you get into this, does it? Because Ian is very successful. He's a good businessman, very good. My plan is to build up enough of a fund to go private, doing 787 training in a couple of weeks, so won't have much screen time. You ledge! Dreamliner, the Boeing 787. Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ, Alex. You know what, mate? That I don't get jealous about much, but I'd get jealous about that. I'd swap £1 million trading account for to be a captain of a 787, I would. Amazing. Cuttleman, it's the hardest game, it's why we need your guidance. My guidance, Jesus. Well, I can only guide people in the way of trying to, obviously, you know, just trying to throw it out there real how it is every day. That's my whole point of this. I'm not trying to guide people in to say, like, my way of trading is the best. That's not what it's about. And I'm not trying to come on here and show like I'm some sort of ledge, you know, and I can trade. I'm probably not. You're probably going to look at my account at the end of the month and you're going to think, freaking hell, he's not made much money. But I'm just trying to help people in being real. That's what it's about. Just be real. Nobody's real in this game. Nobody is. And the reason that they're not is most people are trying to sell you something. So realness goes out the window. But I'm going to be real. I'm just an honest guy. Try and be honest. And I think that hopefully will count for something. And I can try and build a little bit of a community. Not so that I can try and charge anybody money or anything like that. That's not what it's about. But just if you can come on here and there's people on here talking about how they've done, it helps me. Like, I'm sat here this morning and I'm looking at that market. And if I'm just looking at that market this morning, I'm thinking to myself, this is freaking rubbish. Like, this is so shit. I'd be thinking, I'd probably getting a little bit down about it. But obviously you guys, I'm talking, I've been on here now for nearly 45 minutes and I haven't thought once about that market. So it's good. It's helping me out. Can you send me your backtest results? Yeah, of course you can. I don't know if you're on Twitter. Tweet me. Send them to me by DM, or you can send them to me by email. So my email is markheath, MARKHEATH, 1985 @gmail.com. Send them over. I'll have a look at them. If anybody wants me to have a look at anything, I'm welcome to have a look at it and point you in the right direction. Fed is real, Alvin is real, Bitcoin is real. I use Pro Real Time. I like Pro Real Time. Tried MT4, the fills ruffle. Yeah, IG is anything to do with MT4 is a shit show. It really is, really. with the actual MT4 platform. I don't like it at all. I don't even know how to use it really either. It's a real odd platform. So guys, PRT isn't good. PRT and good high volatility. What's PRT? That's a level, isn't it? Is it? Pro real time, no. Pro real time. I think there was a guy that I knew called Graham Levine who trades on Twitter, and I think he had a level called a PRT level. I forgot what it was called, like pivot resistance or something like that. And he like calculated it every few weeks or something. Apparently, it was a good level. Cheers, Mark. In the FTMO contract small print, they state that your trades are basically placed on demo, and they pay you out based on your performance. Your executions aren't actually live. Right. So what they're doing there is something that I was saying about Astro last night, where they aren't everybody's trading with demo, and then they just pay the few that are profitable out with all of the money that they've made off the people who've done their arse. Yeah, I don't like that. DAX and FTSE. That's my stomach, by the way. It's rumbling. I'm gonna have to go and get some breakfast in a minute. Yeah, that's just, I don't understand why they do it. I just don't get it. Just trade properly. Just pay people out with their winnings. Right, so the DAX looks like it could be picking up here. If we can get outside the top of that balance, obviously you've got to try and get on board, haven't you, really? I think at some point, for me, and target these highs here. But whether or not I'll get an entry or not is another thing. I would obviously like it to ping out the top, consolidate maybe, and then drive up again, and I'll be trying to get on board in this drive. But it has to set up right and correct. Otherwise, there's just going to be nothing again. 80% lose. I imagine more do, Dave. I imagine more do. I reckon 90, 95. Like I said last night, Ammon Nat's getting all of his money from his losing traders, just getting straight into his account. Yeah, they do, exactly. And fair play to you, Alex. You know, like, you've gone and done that off your own back, so fair play to you, mate. And if you've passed their test, then you must be doing something right, dude. Well done. There's not many people that pass, so if you've got through the first few tests and months and you've been paid, good stuff. Hit them for everything they've got. That's all I'm gonna say to you. Because all that money that you're taking off them, you know, like, that's just other traders' losses. And I know that happens in the market anyway, but they just do it sneakily, and I don't like it. You know, like, every time we lose, we're giving our money to somebody else, aren't we? But they do, you know, like, Ammon Nat's not telling people that's what he's doing, and he definitely is. He definitely is. He's using that broker login to have all of his traders thinking that they're trading live when they're on demo, and then he's keeping all their losses for himself. Definitely. Do you look at sentiment? For a laugh, maybe, Nick. I do when the market's going up and 85% of people are short. Yeah, but not to actually pick a trade off it. No, my strategy doesn't involve any sentiment. It would get too complicated with backtesting and stuff like that, and I found like I didn't need to. I don't know about any exchange tokens, mate. FTX, it's not my that's not my cup of. I wouldn't say I've got any expertise in it, to be fair. So obviously, you know, I'm always looking at these types of things. I'm not going to say like I don't look at them. I do, but for me to like comment on something that I don't feel I've got much, you know, expertise in, would be you'd probably know more about it than me, DJ Khaled. To be fair, and I don't mind admitting that. So apparently FTMO copy the trades onto their own funds, whether they actually do it. No, they don't. They don't. They're definitely not. They'll just pay the few that win out. And then also the few that win will probably lose again soon. You know, that's the thing. Most people who are winning, I'm not saying that that'll happen to you, Alex, because obviously, you know, you sound like you've got something going. But most traders who win just have a lucky month. You know, and then they'll give it back. If you start on demo or whatever, it's just how it goes. You win, you do well, but it doesn't mean that, you know, you can trade for 6 months or a year profitably and not do your arse. So they're just waiting. They're feeding you that money thinking he's going to slip up soon. And they'll know, to be fair. They'll know if somebody can trade or not by how they manage their account. Right, so that's Pim. Hi, Charlie. How you doing, pal? CA. Charlie's on Twitter. I know him, definitely. Well, I don't know him, but I know he trades. You've got a desk, haven't you, Charlie? How's that going for you, mate? I've seen that you've got a desk that you rented or something like that, I think, off the top of my head. Let us know how that's going for you. Has it added anything to your trading from what you were doing before by getting a desk and renting a desk? Have you added anything to your trading? Has it made you feel like, you know, you're more professional, you've got more headspace? You know, you feel like you've got a more productive day because you go in there. Like, what's the reasoning behind it? Is it fair to assume that to the point that FTMO will be out of money? No, I don't think they will be, because I imagine they've got that many people who lose and try it all the time that they've probably got more capital every single month. So I don't think that, and they could possibly cut the winning traders out. You know, they could say to them, "Oh, sorry, you know, like, we're not happy with something that you've done, even though you've won." I don't know. But winning traders for FTMO is a bad thing. Like, they want losing traders, and they know that most people lose. So I would assume that they've got a great business model. Hey Joshua, is Charlie from Amplify Live? Don't know, guys. Hi Josh, how you doing? Hi Charlie. There is a guy on YouTube, Mark. He passed the FTMO but said too limited to carry on as a funded trader. There are significant limitations. Yeah, they are, exactly. There's always limitations. This is what I was saying last night about the people that back you with big money. They always put extra rules and different stuff that, you know, like, they think that you should be doing. It's like their money, isn't it? And, you know, like, if someone gives you £1 million to trade with, or £500,000 or whatever, there's always going to be stuff that they want you to do, or they think that you should be doing. And this is where you can start getting undone. I know it's happened to people. I've seen it, and I've spoke to people that it's happened to, and it starts to change everything. More risk, more stress, more anxiety. So it's not everything it's made out to be, these big accounts. This you know, if that's what you're thinking, that's what you want to get to, it can be tough, and it can end up knocking you back rather than helping you. FTMO drawdown is silly, very hard not to slip up. Yeah, I think that myself. But you can obviously you can design a strategy, can't you, to try and get in there. You know, or maybe if you look at your strategy, you can sort of you know, change your risk parameters, stuff like that. If you know your average sort of win rate and loss rate, you can look straight away and work out whether you'd even make it in that challenge or not. So if you know your average win rate and your average loss rate, you can sort of look at FTMO and think, right, okay, well, I could probably pass that, or I know probably couldn't. So it would be something to look at. Samuel Leach, yeah, exactly. He's probably definitely doing the same, to be fair. So yes, guys, I'm gonna call it a day here now, because there's nothing going on though. So what I'm gonna do is, this is what I will do. I'm gonna go and get some breakfast, but I'll put an alert in just above this high on this initial balance, and I'll put an alert in just below this low. And if something happens and I get into a trade, I'll come back. I'll jump back on here tonight. If I have a trade, I will jump on tonight. But if I don't get a trade off again today, I'll tweet it out that I've still not had any trade. I think I prefer the morning session for me rather than the nighttime one. So I'll jump on here definitely tomorrow morning again for another hour and show you any progress that I've made. And if I've got into a trade, hopefully today, I think we might get some movement to the upside. I know it's tight at the moment, but I'm thinking that we might push through and try and take these highs here. But we're going to have to see how the American market opens up. What I don't want to happen is for this to just be lingering like this, and then the American market to open up down again, which would be, you know, it could possibly happen, because obviously we had a bit of a down day yesterday, and then to get trapped above this high here, and then the DAX just to go through that high as the American markets are opening up, like what happened yesterday. Just got to tread carefully around that. So yeah, so I'm going to call it a day because my stomach's rumbling and I haven't had any breakfast yet. So have a good morning, everybody. I hope you will smash it, but I will see you. I will tweet out what I'm doing, so follow me on Twitter if you're not doing already. I'll tweet out exactly what I'm doing when I'm going live. as I've said. So have a good morning and take care, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you again tomorrow, everybody that's in here this morning, for more of a conversation and getting to know each other. So thank you very much. See you later, everybody. Take care. Have a good day. Just get out of this live. Thank you very much.